I can tell you for a fact right now, this minute, this moment that you're watching this review, there is no competitive segment in your car ownership more competitive than the subcompact SUV category. We've just had the CX-30 and you guys had a lot to say. We've had the Suzuki Escudo, we've had the SX4 Cross, we've had the Peugeot 20, no, not yet, not yet. 2008, not yet. We've had the Vezzel, yes, we've had the Vezzel, and there are so many units that I'm planning to bring alongside this one that is standing next to me, like the GLA, okay? And we are going to make the value preposition question, which we are going to answer together. Which car makes the ultimate subcompact SUV to buy in Kenya? But today, allow me to introduce to you the 2020 VW T-Cross. And it's at this moment that I kindly ask you, the road to 200k subs is real, functional, epic, and awesome because of you. So if you're here, you're watching this review, or you've watched most reviews we've put on this channel, and you've not yet found it in you, the chance to subscribe, take 5 seconds. I'm waiting. Umeyeka? Umefinya? Like? Yeah? Hizo vitu zote? Are you dropping a comment? Fine, thank you. It is a pleasure having you on this episode of the VW T-Cross, and without further ado, let's get into what actually makes this car special. And this car has been given to us courtesy of our friends at KDG Imports. Ukienda huko, look for this guy and tell him if you want to buy this car, you need to get a very good discount, or any other car that they have in stock. They have a variety of cars, so many, from those that will set you back 29 million to those that will cost you maybe 600, 500,000. Just pay them a visit. They'll cater for your needs any day, anytime. Let's get into this epic review because I am excited to know, does this car give all those cars we've had here, especially the CX-30, a run for their money? Surprisingly, you guys have made automakers to start scrambling to make choices, and difficult ones, if I have to say, because VW have also resulted into making decisions just like Mazda are doing on the other side. The Demio, the CX-3, one are the same thing, one on heels, the other one for your own use. So if you are like the Demio, or if you like the Demio and you feel you want something that can give you a bit more practicality in terms of the ground clearance only, then you upgrade to the CX-3. Same to the Mazda 3. You've just had the CX-30 here. You like the Mazda 3, but you're like, when I go to different places, my car is scrubbing down. You know, I can't get off this clearance as well. And you need something that is still based on the Mazda 3. Something that you love because you are in love with that ergonomic. You're in love with how that car looks. You're in love with how that car drives. Then you get yourself the CX-30. Same story here. So on this particular scene, on this particular place, we have the T-Cross, which is actually based of a VW Polo. So in case you're in love with the Polo, unapenda Polo sana, but the Polo is giving you a few limitations like ground clearance. It's limiting you in terms of where you can go with it. It's limiting you in terms of how people view you, by the way. And then you want to step up and get something that is more practical, SUV-like. Then this is what you're going to buy. So this is the entry subcompact SUV on the VW lineup. Above this, you get the T-Roc, which is best of a Golf, and then the ultimate Tiguan and the Touareg come in as the big boys. Hapo tuko sawa? So let's get into this review and see what does a 2020 T-Cross offer in this market that we have here, and does it give a better value proposition, because this car will actually set you back 3 million Kenya shillings. CX-30 is 3.4. So I'm at 3.5. So hold that thought, because we will meet at the end of the review and talk about value for money and see, does the T-Cross really give you that value proposition? But first and foremost, the looks. Now, unlike the CX-30, This particular car, VW are going for a subtle, easy look. CX-30 is pure curves. The Vezzel is pure curves. The Scudo, nah. I think the design of the Scudo and these guys were speaking the same language. So these are boxy design with aggressive lines, and I love the aggressive lines. I am a fan of abstract shapes. So this is like more of an abstract shape with just aggressive lines cutting across the entire side of the car. The front hood, hapa kuna line pale, huku mbele you can just see lines and lines. And of course, one thing that makes this car premium is the fact that it wears a VW badge, and we'll talk about what this VW badge means. But you have your normal kawaida front grille, just like what you'll find on the Tiguans. You know, the good thing with VW is they make their things similar or look the same, just like Mazda does with their Kodo design language. Then you have your adaptive LED projector headlights with a daylight running strip that looks very nice and beautiful, especially at night. Then you have your active fog lights, which again, as I always say, will illuminate when you take corners. I love this shade. I'm not sure which shade of color is this, so madam pale kwa comments. I'm very poor at color, so I might go with black on this one, but it could actually be a shade of blue. I don't know. So tell me, which color is this, or which spec of color is this from the VW T-Cross? Then you have your plastic claddings hapa hivi with parking sensors all in front. And these again, just talking about the parking sensors, the options that we're having here around like these active LED headlights, is the fact that this car comes in 3 trim levels. So you have the base trim, and then you have the mid level, which is called the style, and then you have the most sporty looking, the more aggressive one, which is the R line. You guys know the R line. You know the R line is, R is for the sporty version, and then the line is you take the looks of the R and then put it on your kawaida car, then it's called an R line. Yeah. So the most aggressive sporty looking is an R line. So this one is the style, it's the medium. So you get those extras coming in handy. Okay, let's look at the side profile. So what do you get when it comes to the side profile? A very easy, simple, again I told you the design language of this car is quite conservative. You can see those aggressive lines, just like those you'll get on a Tiguan. If you look at it on the side, it just looks like a Tiguan, a baby Tiguan, right? And then these again, these are an option. So if you get the best model, you won't find this one. But the good thing is these are medium model, so you find that you have your side mirrors, which come packed with a few technologies, one of them being a blind assist, and we'll check that when you're driving the car. Coming down to the wheels now, here again is where things get a bit different. So you have size 18, so the best model will come with size 17. These you get with size 18, and then the R line you can get with size 19. So rims imewachana hivyo. So that's what you need to know. That's what you get here. Alloy rims from VW, which is common right now. I think there are those basic alloys that you get on the best model. They won't look as good as this one, so take note. Then you have your 2-port brake system, disc mbele. Then you have another 2-port. No, these are 1-port, or 1-port at the rear, which is quite interesting. In terms of the looks, again, something that is similar to the CX-30. You see those plastic paddings on the wheel arches and running across the entire frame of the car to the rear. Same thing. It's like they were copying each other. The only difference is how curvaceous those cars are, in difference on how boxy and abstract this particular one is. Let's talk about something controversial. You remember when talking about the CX-30? At the front we have McPherson struts, which are normal. Those are the simplest form of suspension. Easy to maintain, easy to keep on the road, and cheap. If you go with a double wishbone, it means you're having more things to replace if something goes bad. If you go with a multi-link at the front, worse, like Audi, it means you're fixing more, and everything will cost you an arm and a leg. Hapa nyuma, we do not have independent suspension, just like the CX-30. No independent suspension, and I'll talk to you about that when we are sliding towards the rear. So what you have here is a solid beam, a torsion beam cutting across that end to this end. Na unapata springs zako hapo na dampers. That is something I didn't expect. I actually expected, this being a VW, I will get independent suspension on either end to make this car feel a bit comfortable, but I'm not sure. I'll wait until I drive this car and I'll tell you how it feels to be inside and the experience of driving this car. But at the rear, just look how gorgeous and beautiful this car is. Being a 2020 model, everybody's trying to do this thing where they have an entire rear taillight cutting across the entire rear of the car, and that's what you get. I like this design because it's just iconic, it's fresh, it's refreshing, it's beautiful. And you have your boxy LED rear taillights, just located nicely. You know, I think this car looks quite awesome. You have like a spoiler here that is not as very serious spoiler with your third brake light. Then you have the T-Cross badge just emblazoned quite well on this tailgate. It's not electronic. I'll talk about that. You have your parking sensors. Then you have another plastic padding. These plastic padding, the reason why they are put on cars, it's because they assume this is an SUV and you'll be doing your adventure drives, and in case vitu zikugware, you know, you have one of the cheapest, simplest approach to repair and maintenance. Unlike if they put this one here, it means you have to paint, which is expensive. Let's talk about practicality. I told you this one is not electronic. I don't know. You tell me in the comments. Do you guys believe that the R-Line comes in an electronic tailgate? Yeah, can see provisions here. Maybe it does. We will wait for that. Otherwise, so what do we get here? So now there is a few tricks that this car has up its sleeves. One of the trick is if you have it in this setup, you're getting here 385 liters of practical boot space. If you remember, the CX-30 had 370. So slightly bigger than the CX-30. Of course, bigger than the Vezzel as well. Okay? But the second row of seat can be adjusted. So if you move the second row of seats, it can actually slide mbele na nyuma. So if you move it to the most farthest point, then you get yourself 455 liters of practical boot space. By done stop there. If you fold the second row of seats, which goes down flat, by the way, let me do that so that we all see it in action. So I'm going to remove this thing here. How does it come out? Okay. There you go. Before I fold the seats, one of the biggest headache in Akwanga, where do you keep this? But the good thing with this car is they have given you a place where you can actually keep it. You put there. See, Toyota, please. Okay, so let's fold up the seats. So you fold the seats flat. Look at that. Flat. You get 1,281 liters of practical boot space. See that? See how awesome and beautiful practicality on the T-Cross is? It doesn't stop there. Let me show you a trick. So here, one thing that we struggle with, especially ukiweka mzigo, is the fact that you have a hump here. So it means you have to lift your goods out. Yeah, that is still going to happen if you need more practical boot space. Because hapa chini, when I remove my thing, you have a provision for a full spare wheel. So either a donut or a full spare wheel, your choice, right? But in case you need more space, you can actually move and adapt this cover for a different setting, meaning you have more space. Remember that I said you move the seats well, you get more practical space. That's how you get 455 when your second row of seat is up. When you put it at the higher side, that's how you get 385. Quite tricky and awesome and beautiful from VW. Are we done here? Yes, we are done. Let's talk about how interesting this car is under the hood, because that is where things start getting interesting. So under the hood of this particular T-Cross, and if you're importing a T-Cross from the Japanese market or even buying it locally, it actually comes with just one engine option. For the Japanese market, engine ni moja. If you buy it from the European market, something about UK, then you can get a variety of engines. You can get a 1000cc, you can get a 1500cc, and you can also get a 1600cc diesel. Okay, paired to either a 6-speed manual, 5-speed manual, or a 7-speed DSG. Hapo tuko game, but let's come back to what we are used to, all the cars we buy. So we bought this car, or this car has been shipped in from the Japanese market, which is hugely our dominant market to go in case you want to buy a car. So what do you get? You get a 1000cc. It's actually 999, which has been translated to 1000cc. Okay, turbocharged 3-cylinder petrol engine, giving you 115 horsepower and 200 Newton meters of torque. Listen, you guys should not be surprised because if you ask me, those are very decent numbers. And you know why I consider that decent numbers? Because the Mark X has a V6 with 200 HP, 200 with 6 cylinders. That's Toyota for you. But let's come back to VW. Let me not rush. Okay, so now before I talk to you about the problems you will get if you plan to buy this car. This engine comes paired to a 7-speed dry clutch DSG. Now here I need to share some few snippets of education. If you're buying a VW, you have two types of dual clutches system that they employ. A DSG is a dual clutch transmission. So basically it's a manual transmission that is being shifted into gears using a set of clutches which have forks. So moja inashika gear ingine in even and odd numbers. So ikiuma number 1, ingine shauma number 2 imeshikilia. Number 1 ukiswitch imechukua number 2, you get So that is to give you an enhanced shifts when you're driving this car, which is equal to better fuel economy, better performance, better acceleration. You understand? So now there is one set of a transmission, a DSG transmission like this particular one that comes here with those two small engines that you have, the 1.4, the 1.2s, and the 1000cc. On most VWs will come with a dry clutch, meaning that clutch pack is not being lubricated or cooled by a fluid. It means it's sealed, it's dry. Okay, then you buy yourself a Golf GTI or a Golf R, then that comes with a wet clutch, meaning the clutch pack has some liquid around it which is making it cooler and better. You will remember that the Vezzel comes with a dual clutch transmission as well, 7-speed to be precise, and Honda went ballistic with the DCT. Not only did they make the clutch pack wet, they also made the actuators wet. So now you have a wet actuator, a wet clutch pack, at the same time a wet transmission itself. Hence the reason why you guys are getting character development. But let's come back here. So when you buy this car, it comes with a dry clutch, right? It means it's not a car, it's not a transmission you really want to push too hard, because ikichemuka, you have little auxiliary cooling to the clutch pack. Wear and tear, very bad. In terms of maintenance to that, it's recommended. It's called a sealed transmission. That is VW for you. Just like Mercedes-Benz have also theirs, a sealed transmission where they don't require you to do maintenance. It is allowed you, when you buy this one, 60,000 kilometers or earlier, the better, 50, 60,000. Piga flash yako ya fluid hapo. Make sure your mechatronic unit is working well. Just make sure end service na maintenance iko top notch, right? Hapo tuko game. Now coming back to the engine. The engine is a 1000cc. And you guys will say, that engine is unreliable. True. Worldwide, most credentials point to unreliability to any engine that is under 1200cc. Now let me educate you a bit about this engine. Now the most unreliable VW engines, smaller in size, came from a family that we used to call the EA111. Okay? Now this one is a 1000cc but doesn't come from the EA111 family. It actually comes from the EA211 family. It means this engine is belt driven, meaning at 100,000 K, thereabout, you need to do a belt change. Hapo tuko sawa. And don't talk to me about belt, because you have a 2.0 red that comes with a wet belt again, which is, I don't know how people are surviving with them. But the good thing is, if you know the problem, it means you can arrest and maintain it early in time. So that is something that you need to know about this engine. Number 2, it's a direct injection, meaning carbon buildup. Just like any VW product, carbon buildup. All right? So you have to occasionally open up the intake and clean it so that you get better fuel economy and the car or the engine will run more optimally. Tuendelee na mashida. Number 3, plastics. Plastic flanges. Over time, VW hit with plastics over time. Over time, I mean 150, 200,000 kilometers. Over time, you will be replacing these plastic flanges. It is the cardan of VW. Water pump. The problem here are the normal problems you get on any VW. But the good thing is, if you're buying this car, I'm assuming you're stepping up from either Golf or a Polo, and you know how to keep your car running. So the normal problems that you get on those is what you'll get here. But in terms of reliability and holding up with the pistons, this engine has been reported to be very solid. Unfortunately, the manufacturer recommends that you run premium fuel on this engine, So I'm talking about right now in this market, the only premium fuel we both know exists is V-Power. So you run low grade oil, or low grade fuel in this car, you might get yourself into problems. Now, worldwide, VW recommends that you service this car every 15,000 kilometers. Hapa ni Kenya, and this is Africa. I am telling you, if you can do less than 10,000, in fact, if you can do 7 or 8, you are welcome. Because there is one level of mileage that we don't account for. It's called idle mileage. That's why if a person says you service your engine after 10,000 kilometers, what they don't factor in is idle mileage, where gari imesimama na nguruma, okay? Still the oil is being used. So service this engine 8,000, 7,000, you'll have no problem. Hapo sawa? Let's look at the interior of this car and talk about, does it offer anything more interesting than the CX-30 or the competition in this class? And I can't die to get the Volvo XC40. So kama uko na Volvo XC40, if you have the Yaris Cross, if you have any other car that competes with these cars, please reach out. Numbers zetu ziko hapo chini. Give us a call. We'll be very proud to come pick that car, review it, and just see how it stacks up against all these cars we reviewed on this channel, so that you guys can make a proper decision when that time comes. So let's check out the interior of this car and see, does it offer the juice of a VW badge? This is something that VW has been doing. Hata kwa Tiguan iko hivi. It gets worse even if you cross over to the other counterparts. Uko kwa Audi pia. This is what you get. But for consolation, on this one there is no. This is in plastic yacht. Which other car had all this plastic, Fabian? Which car was it? At the rear? It was the Escudo. Escudo, yeah? Up at the Escudo, same WhatsApp group. Okay? Let's talk about the good things. One is the space. So I told you this seat has a latch here. So you lift this latch, you can adjust this seat belly and accommodate more cargo on the rear. But if I adjust the latch and pull it to the rear end, then I get this kind of legroom. This seat has been put directly into a position where I will drive it comfortably, but still I have this. I didn't get this when I did the Vezzel. I didn't get this when I did the Suzuki Escudo. So this is quite exemplary. The headroom is quite awesome, quite easy, quite beautiful. Now, the seats as well are quite comfortable. Cloth, very good, premium to the feel, okay? Where does it lose? Two things. Number one, don't get a drop down center armrest. None. No cup holders. The good thing is you have very huge door bins. I think VW are like, we won't give you that, but we'll give you a huge so that you store there. Okay? Number two, you don't get AC vents hapa. You have a big hole. VW, simungepitisha two pipes like zikuje. Like, what is this hole for? Tunaweka nini hapa? Surely. Okay, fine. I'm ranting. But the good thing, where again it gets good scores, is you have 2 USB charging ports. So meaning, mtu amekaa hapa na mtu amekaa hapa, you get to enjoy the convenience of charging your phone so that you don't ask for cables to cross all the way from the front. And that's all you get on this second row seat of the VW T-Cross. Let's check out. Oh, there's one more. There's one more. Because it's a family car. Get this. You have ISOFIX points, hapo, and another set here. And there's a surprising one. There's another set at the front seat. So it means you can actually carry 3 babies. VW is trying to say 3 babies below. No, you are underperforming. Let's check out the front of this car. Actually, there is a probability if you're in this car, by accident, ufanye tu unaguza plastic. plastic. Yeah, I know you guys have a bad relationship with plastic, but this is something normal for any VW, by the way. It's just not exclusive to this. So before you judge it, please understand, right? But let's get into the more interesting bits. Number one, even though we have plastics, where your handrests, hapa katikati, leather, soft leather. Still on the door, where your handrests, leather, soft leather, right? Now, this color you're seeing here, it has a piano black finish with a shade of, it's more like a gazelle kind of shading going on. Now this color is the same color you get on the exterior of this car. So if you bought this car in a different color shade, this bit here, just like the Suzuki Scudo, it will have the same color shade of your exterior color. It goes all the way even to the steering wheel, this padding here. So these will be the same color. And from the look of things, I think it's black, but I can be corrected. The seats are quite comfortable. One thing I love about this is they're very comfortable. Very, very comfortable. And let's talk about the juicy, interesting things that I love. One is the infotainment. Okay, this, can I put on this car? Yeah. This is the newer infotainment system. From 2019, 2018, we're having this new infotainment system. Now, two beautiful things. One, it is Apple CarPlay enabled, Android Auto enabled. And it's easy to connect. You just press up and you get your Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. You can also mirror your phone. But you get that via connection, a USB. That you have to get it right because it's not wireless, right? Number two, you get a very good set of speakers to just complement the look and the function of this Nini. And the good thing is, once you're there, you can actually, adjust your sound. Sound here is your bass, your mid-tones and treble. You can see there, it's touch, so you can adjust and just tune it to the right place. And I can tell you, I'll test it at the end of this video, but the sound is top notch. So, did I tell you this system also has, voice recognition and voice command, so you can order it via your voice, which is very beautiful and interesting. When it comes to your car, you get all the normal things you get on Audi. Like it can give you a reminder of your service and all that, and something else that you get, let me see, you can do your tire pressure, your kawaida normal things that you'll get on Audi. However, I wish it will be in multicolor, because now this one is more of a monochrome color. You got a color blue and a black, okay, which is sawa tu. I will not complain. There is not much to talk about when it comes to infotainment, but it's touch sensitive, it's quite intuitive, it's easy to use, and it's awesome. That's number one. Number two, you come down here. Now down here you get quite important things. Number one, VW has this thing where you can turn off your airbag. So you can turn off your passenger airbag. The reason behind turning off your passenger airbag, it's because you have ISOFIX points here. So in case you choose to carry a baby here, you can actually turn off the airbag, so that in case you get yourself into a fiki, the airbag will not deploy and hit the seat ya mtoto. Hapo tuko sawa. Very important, very ahead in terms of thinking. Another interesting thing, this car comes with auto parking. So it means if your parking skill is 0, this car will help you park. You can park parallel, you can park vertical, whatever you want. This car can help you do that. You have your auto start and stop technology in case you're doing your traffic costing, which is something I need to talk about, because if you're driving this car in traffic and it doesn't shut, if there's a car I would recommend you allow it to shut down in traffic, is this car. Because one element of a dual clutch transmission is if you're in traffic, it longer start and go, where all the time you're braking, stopping, braking, starting, braking, stopping. Evil. It means the clutch is always engaged, selecting the gear or holding the gear, okay? And that will actually cause a detrimental wear and tear on the clutch pack, which is not good, because that's an extra cost at the end of the day. So this one, I love the fact that you have start and stop, because you can actually have this car completely turn off in traffic. Sawa. You don't get heated seats, you don't get all those things. And then you have your dual zone climate controls hapa for the passenger and the driver. Huku nyuma mtanyonya hewa ya watu wa mbele. Okay, unfortunately that is what VW has decided that you will do. And then you have your sync button, which can actually sync the climate zone of this side to this side. So meaning if I adjust this side, so naiona ina adjust na huku pia. That is why the sync button is there. But in case you want people to adjust independently, then you can allow them do it themselves. Nothing much to talk about. You have your virtual cockpit hapa hivi, which is something that we are used to on a VW. Let me just start this car. You can put the steering wheel straight. Then you have your flat bezel, leather steering wheel. You have your controls here for cruise control. And then, most importantly, apart from the controls, your cruise control, there's something that is confusing here. So you have your volume controls on this side. And then you have your next on the infotainment, muziki on this side, which is very weird, because now you unaongeza volume unaona next. VW should have kept it in the same location so that you're just aware of what you're doing. But most importantly is the technology around safety. I told this car is rated 5-star in terms of safety. 97% adult occupancy. which is very, very dope and beautiful. It has pedestrian sensing huko mbele. It means you can't just knock off your pedestrian if they are walking along or in front of this car. You have front and rear collision mitigation. You have rear cross traffic alert. Remember, these are options that you get on this level going up. The best level might not come with this, okay? But in terms of tech, this car is one of the solid option in terms of tech safety. There is none closer to this, especially the competition. But you can disarm and arm it using a button. That is the beauty of what I get on these cars. Just like, I believe we had the CX-30 as well. Mazda did a thing where they brought all those safety tech into a button, where you can press your button, then you can get the option to arm it or disarm it. Or alternatively, you can just go into the menu and then you pick your vehicle and then you do your settings. Arm those things, you know, do it the way you want. That's the beauty of this. So I love that. And on this side, you have the things to control this digital cluster. And yeah, so you can toggle between your settings. No, let me remove this thing. So you can toggle between your settings, fuel economy, and all that. You can view start and stop technology. You can do all that. That's the beauty of this. And this is an analog stock digital instrument cluster. The center you have a digital class, and then on the other side you have your traditional analog, which is beautiful, just like any VW that you'll buy in the market. Hapo tuko sawa. Very beautiful. Let me not waste your time. I think it's time we drive this car. Oh, storage compartments, very huge door bins, very huge, very sizable glove compartment, because VW decided they are going to put a CD changer and 2 SD card ports and this KITC thing that Japanese put on their cars in this glove compartment. So by doing that, they took away a bit of storage. That is sizable. Most people in Kenya don't use glove compartments anyway. So let's just say it's awesome. You're gonna have the storage compartment here for your phone or any other extra that you have. 2 cup holders that are tiny, and then most importantly, you have your wireless charging and a very convenient place where you can store your phone. I love that. 2 USB charging ports extra for the passenger driver in case you have 2 phones. Then you have a 12-volt socket and your start button. Hapo hivi. Let's drive this car. I think that's all. Let's drive this car. I don't know why they didn't give us a place where we can put our stanners. It looks like it has it, but it does not. VW for you. Let's drive the car. And as an extra on the storage, in case you have more phones, you can store them there. And as you can see, it has a rubber padding with ribbons on it, meaning if you put your phone here, it will not be dancing around, especially when you brake. Yeah, that is solid. Beautiful. I love genius ideas like these ones. How is this genius? Ati hapa itanyonya jua. Oh, ikuwe moto. Oh, sawa. So tuweke soda hapo. Oh, sawa. Acha turudishe tu. So how does it feel to drive the T-Cross? One place I feel they have really done a good job in terms of eliminating the competition is giving you the SUV-like feel. Okay, like it's a proper SUV vibes. So you're sitting quite high, and the visibility is quite awesome. And that is something I didn't feel when I drove the CX-30. I think the CX-30 felt more like a car in comparison to this. And so to me, that is a big advantage. In case you're wondering if you're a tall guy, can you still get that feel? Yeah. You can actually adjust the seat. There's a lever here you can pump up and down. It can bring the seat up and down. So it's down to how you prefer to drive it. There's another place where this car edges out most of these other cars. And I haven't tested the XC40 yet and the GLA, but I'm planning to bring them on the show so that we get a complete comparison of which one is superior. Because now we've crossed now to Mengia European side. However, being based on a VW Polo and sharing a lot with the Golf and all that, of course there's an edge in terms of how this car drives. Like it's spot on. The suspension is quite comfortable. The handling is quite spot on. Of course, VW with handling and performance, there's something that we need to give to them. And so that is the transfer of feelings that you get if you're coming from the Polo into this car. That VW DNA of driving and comfort is superb. I tend to agree that even if you take corners, they have made the suspension quite interesting in a way. It's stiffer if you're taking corners, and it's very comfortable just doing normal cruising, even though it's not adaptive. I don't know what witchcraft they're doing there, but that's what you get. Now to more interesting stuff. Being a VW, of course, we get a dual clutch transmission, a DSG, which is a dry clutch, and shifting is spot on, but and interesting. Yeah, that's what the DSG does for you, which is quite interesting. Quite interesting. Of course, the rest of the other cars, you don't get that out of them, but you do get that with this. So I think that is an advantage as well. However, the engine, as I said earlier, it's a 1000 cc. You will be required to put your feet down quite confidently for you to get it going. And something else that I've noticed is the safety features, the lane assist, the lane departure warning. They are quite aggressive on this car. They are quite aggressive. And I think that boils down to even the safety credential this car has. Of course, those things will be very, very aggressive. You go back and technology come my eyesight, where it can actually detect a pedestrian and slow down the car, or maybe bring the car to an absolute stop. That is the emergency brake, which is dope. Those are the kind of technologies you need in a small SUV that you want to drive around and just make use on a daily basis. Now, I know you guys are waiting for me to do 0 to 100. I am not going to do 0 to 100 because I don't want to push this engine to that maximum output. I don't want to try to do those shenanigans, okay? But it is rated at 10.5 seconds. For those who are wondering, and those who care to know, it's rated at 10.5 seconds. I reckon if you get the 1500 and the 1600cc diesel from the UK market, you'll get better numbers, especially considering the 1500 will give you around 150 HP. So you'll get better numbers maybe in 0 to 100. But this one, yeah, the diesel will do 11 seconds. It's manageable. For this kind of a car, it's manageable. It's not like we got anything more superior from the CX-30. Even if you bought the CX-30 that comes with a 2-liter petrol, you know, these numbers are right there. But this, because it has a turbocharger, unless you're buying the CX-30 with a turbocharger, I know the XC40 will come in quite competitive in terms of what it offers, because it has a bigger engine and a turbocharger, which is superb and awesome, together with the GLA as well. Especially if you're getting the GLA 250, you get the 274 with a turbocharger with better power output, which is dope. But in terms of what this one offers is extreme fuel economy. I'm averaging right now around 14 kilometers on a liter, which is dope and awesome. And something else that you get is a bit of a sporty punch when you put your feet down. However, I'll warn you, this is not a car you push. This is not an engine you want to push. This is a car you use the turbo to just get you going. But once she goes. This car is quite light. It's not that heavy. So I believe you still get a sporty vibe. Okay? That's all from me. Let's talk about value for money. I'm quite interested to see how it stacks up against the competition. But one thing I know for sure is for 3 million Kenyan shillings, this is the closest European car you can get to the Japanese counterparts. So this is it. 3 million juu spot. Kwa sababu hizo zingine you're playing above the 3.5 million mark going up. So let's talk about value for money. Does it make a proper value proposition? And if you're given this and the rest of the other ones to choose, which one are you going for? But generally, let's be real. So who will actually buy this car? If you're looking for a town car, a car you can urban use, mostly urban use, that will give you epic fuel economy, then this is the car you need to buy. That's where it shines. Number 2, you want to stay unique, you want to stay sophisticated. You don't want to come to a parking lot na upate Vezzel zimejaa alafu wewe pia umepaki Vezzel yako hapo. Ama umepaki hapo CX-30 ama CX-30 na Kodo design language. And this is the car you need to buy. Okay? I'm trying to profile people who will buy this car. Plus, mostly, if you've been on the VW lineup and you need to upgrade, you've owned a Golf Polo, you've owned a Golf or you've owned a Polo. This makes a lot of sense in terms of upgrade. But if you've been on the Japanese side, I reckon this will be a very hard sell for you. And yeah, but also if you're on the Japanese side and you want to try out the European side and you need something that you can carefully try, cheap, affordable to maintain, this is a car. Plus the price point is quite awesome. For a 2020 unit going for 3 mic. Yeah. A Vezzel going for 2.8, 2.7 for a 2018. Yeah, tells you have a better value proposition on this particular car. However, the downside is It only comes with front wheel drive application, so meaning it will not be a car that you'll want to go into difficult terrains. So because you lack the AWD system, and unfortunately that is standard, so you don't get it in LWD. So ukichukua Japan, ukichukua UK, wherever you want to buy this car from, front wheel drive is a standard, nothing more, nothing less. So let's talk about value for money. Does this car offer a value proposition for a 2020 unit? Hapa kwa 2020 nataka tuongeze your competition. Number one on the list is the Honda Vezzel. Your favorite is the DCT because it's more sportier, it's more aggressive. And there were guys who were saying that the Honda Vezzel is not sporty, the hybrid one. You guys are wrong. Do you know how to define a sporty car? Like, it has a dual clutch transmission. It has an engine that is mated to that, and the power output is quite awesome. Because of that transmission feel, it's actually sporty. Same thing we can talk about this car. So number one is Vezzel. How much will a 2020 Vezzel set you back? I'll comfortably put it at anything between 3 mic and 3.2, depending with the quality and spec. Hapo tuko sawa. Suzuki Scudo 2020 comfortably 2.8-2.9 million Kenyan shillings. GLA hata tusionge, tunatafuta milioni kama 4. Volvo XC60 3.6, maybe 3.7, I don't know. You guys tell me in the comments. The SX4 should be the cheapest here. The 2008 should be the cheapest again, among the cheapest to buy. Now, does this car offer a value proposition by setting you back 3 million Kenya shillings? The answer is absolutely yes. According to the market rates, according to what this car offers, 100% I'll want to agree with that. This car offers a very strong value proposition. Where does it win? Number one is the badge. It wears a VW badge. So if you're a guy coming from a VW lineage, or you own a Polo, you own a Golf, and you just want to step up and get something that is more practical with a better ground clearance and still stay in the VW lineup, absolutely, this is the car for you. Where else does it lose? Where does it gain? I'll talk about the gains first before I talk about the losses. It gains more because of the safety credentials that this car offers. 5-star rated, 97% adult occupancy. Bro, those are numbers that we dream of on different cars. So in terms of safety, I believe this car is way ahead in that category against all those competitors. Where else does it win? Practicality on the second row of seats and the boot as well. Because of the seats that you can move mbele na nyuma, it means the second row of seat, people will slightly sit more comfortably with that seat adjusted all the way to the farthest end. But if you want to accommodate more space at the boot, you can adjust it and get more practical boot space. And that is a cheat. So I feel those are the key winning points. The last one will be the sporty driving feel and the comfort of the suspension. Because hapa ndani sasa, because it runs on purely a VW platform, VWs are built to be a bit more sporty, so you'll get it to be a bit more sporty when it comes to how it drives. And the engine has a turbocharger, so when you want that punch, it gives it to you. So where does it lose? It only comes with one engine option. You don't get any other engine option if you're getting it from Japan, unless you're buying from UK. Where else does it lose? It only comes in front wheel drive. Like, you don't get all wheel drive. You don't get you don't get all wheel drive. Where else does it lose? It has a lot of plastics in the interior. Like, the CX-30 will take this car, even the CX-3 will be taking this car for a different level of fishing. Like, it won't play in a level close to that car. Where else does it lose? Of course, when it comes to maintenance costs, being a European car, it will be slightly higher, but it won't be higher in comparison to the XC40 and the GLA. That I have to make a note. It will be higher if you compare it to the Japanese competitors, right? Now, today, I want to do it differently, because I know there are people here who are asking, so which car are we going to choose? Before we bring the other ones, let me ask somebody here. Yes, Mr. Karis, how are you? So which car are you choosing? We have the Vezzel, you've done the SX4 Cross, you've done the CX-30, you've not done the CX-3 yet, but nothing different from the CX-30. They are closely related. And then you've done this. Which one are you driving home, given a budget of 3 million? 3 flat. Yes. Would you rather go for? If you say flat, okay. No. Okay. Regardless of price, Which one are you driving?
I'm taking the CX-30.
CX-30.
One, iko na a lot of engine options. 2, interior yake is
Top notch.
top notch, better than this one. Na
Looks.
Yeah.
Yeah. But can we say looks are subjective? Hata ipi inakaa fiti Karis.
Tukiangalia pia fuel economy zinakimbizana.
Especially ukichukua diesel.
Yeah. So me, I'm going the CX-30.
Let me ask this guy. You?
Same.
These guys are Gen Zs. These guys are Gen Zs. So now you've heard it from the team. So Karis is going for the CX-30 regardless of the price tag. Then you have Fabian as well going for the CX-30. And I understand them. These guys are young. These guys want something that looks attractive. And those are the kind of decisions that we make anytime you're going to buy any car. For me, if you ask me, honestly, I'll have to wait for the GLA and the XC40. Then I'll tell you which car I'll drive home. But currently where we are, right now where we are, I believe I will want to stand out. I'll want to look different. I'll want, if I appear on a parking or a meetup, when everybody's driving the Vezzels and driving the CX-30s with Kodo design language, I can turn up with the T-Cross. So at this moment, I'm doing the T-Cross because of uniqueness, because of abstract shape and styling, because it's not a common car. Plus, it has better tech in the interior and better safety ratings. That is where my money is, because I am a sophisticated guy. I've been your host, Papa's Coffee Ibrahim Toloi, on this midweek epic review on Conversation. Remember, the road to 200k subs is still on. Please, I beseech you, together with the team, tupatie subscription pale, give us a like, give us a comment, and we have a surprise for 200k, because what we have in store, let me not say it, just get us there. You will see what we are going to do. Bye.